Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of Getting Hard Podcast. I am Jen, and sitting with me is of course Tim.
Yup.
How you doing, Tim?
Not too bad. Yourself?
Not too bad.
How's everything hanging around here?
You should
I'm
know.
absent quite a lot.
For work.
I've been spending a lot of time at home.
Well, if you really want to know, I can sing most of the Wiggles songs now.
Oh. That's a death metal band, right?
Sure.
Okay, yeah. I think I heard of them before.
Yeah, they're from Australia.
Yeah, I thought they were from from Oslo. Yeah. So it's been a kind of a rough week here in the province. First thing, we want to kind of give our condolences to any of the people who were affected, but there was quite a little tragedy that took place over the weekend, and so yeah, our hearts go out to all the people who are affected by that.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't live in our province or in our country that might be listening and doesn't know, we had a mass shooter on the loose on the weekend who took the lives of 22 people.
Yeah, a psychotic nut job.
Who we will not name.
No. But, yeah, so, I mean, it's a terrible thing, and, there's nothing physically that we can do, but we can say that, we're thinking about all the people who are affected, and, it's a terrible thing, and I wouldn't wish that upon anybody. And there's been quite a few people affected by it, not just obviously the people who were hurt, but there's hundreds of people were affected by it. Everybody in the province woke up Sunday morning and, kind of just started seeing this stuff popping up on social media and everything and the news. And yeah, and it's not something we would normally expect to see in our area.
Definitely not.
So it kind of shook everybody and took us all by surprise.
And you say there's not much we can do physically, but there is, because as I was talking to you, anyone in the province, on Friday there's a province-wide vigil. All you have to do is go stand at the end of your driveway at 7 o'clock or on your balcony or at your window and just observe 2 minutes of silence for...
Yeah, so if you're listening to this the day it comes out, that'll be tonight. At 7 o'clock p.m. And I'm sure, I don't know if they're doing that Canada-wide or if that's just in the province.
That's just in the province, but there was a call out for Canada-wide for people at 8:30 p.m. every night to put a candle in their window.
Okay.
Just to honor those.
Yeah.
Nova Scotia tartan in your window, whatever.
Yeah, and it seemed to be a random, not totally, but seemed to be mostly a random act.
They're really not sure. It's half random, half not.
There's all still a bunch of investigation, but one way or the other, psycho nut job was on the loose and did some bad stuff. And yeah, so it kind of, like I said, it just shook everybody up around here. No one likes to hear about that stuff happening in your area.
No, we definitely don't. It's not something typical to happen here.
I also found out some other information today. Not that I'm an investigative journalist by any stretch of the imagination, but I found out that this actually took place on the anniversary of 3 other incidents.
Really?
Yeah, so it happened the day before Columbine's shooting, and it was the same day as the Oklahoma bombings, and it was also the same day as something else. I can't remember what the other thing was. I can look it up.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah, it was like an anniversary of 3 separate mass murders.
Wow.
So that kind of, like I said, in months to come, I'm sure we'll hear more about what they know, but...
And unfortunately, it's...
What was the date that it happened?
It's the 20th of April.
Would have been the 20th?
Unfortunately, it's not only a tragedy for our province, but it's now historically it's one of the worst acts of violence in our country.
Yeah, so Columbine happened on the 20th of April. everything else that I'm seeing is showing up. Oh, this one here, it's got fake news written all over it, so who knows?
You got to say it, lighten the mood a little bit.
Oh, April 20th was the day that Hitler was born.
Oh. Lovely.
Yeah.
They do say people born in April are crazy.
Do they say that?
They do say that.
Oh, that explains a lot.
Long-necked and bossy.
That explains a lot. For anyone who doesn't know, Jen was born in April. She was almost a joke.
Yep.
But she wasn't. She wasn't a joke by one day.
I think I was actually due on April the 1st. No, I was due in March.
So it's like, it says the days leading up to
So the Oklahoma
April
bombing was the 15th?
20th. Friggin' pop-ups. No, this was... Oh, so, yeah, the days leading up. So the Boston Marathon shooting was on April 15th. That was terrible. That wasn't that long ago. Virginia Tech was on April 16th. So it seems to be like a weird time for violence.
Especially now, I mean, there's a huge cry out to have the mental health system.
Yeah, well, that's what it all comes down to.
Fixed.
Is there's all in lots of places, this place included. There's always been cuts in the mental health programs and lack thereof.
Well, up until recent years, there wasn't much research done into any conditions of the mind. You were thrown in an asylum, and no matter what you had going on, labeled as crazy, and that's where your family left you.
Yeah.
So, we've only been...
So, yeah, Timothy McVeigh launched his attack on April 19th. So, yeah, it seems to be just a crap time.
Well, and that's when this all started in our province, was the evening of April 19th.
So, the U.S. declared war on Spain on April 20th, 1898. Which, I'm not sure what the Spanish did to provoke that.
Do we need to go back to the 1800s?
I'm just looking here because it's like... Then there is April 20th, 1914. Some sort of a mine was like attacked. And the mine was owned by Rockefeller.
So it's historically a messy day.
Yeah. The Bay of Pigs invasion was April 20th, 1961. That was an attack on Fidel Castro's organization. And apparently they didn't...
Yeah, that was the Cuban Missile Crisis, right?
Okay, they didn't fare out that well because apparently the anti-Castro Cuban rebels all died and 1,202 of them were captured, the ones that didn't die.
Gee.
So, yeah. 1974 on the 20th. La-da-da-da-da. Protestants, Catholics, and British soldiers. 1,000 people died in that one. So, yeah. Anyway, long story short, April 20th, bad day. Just stay at home on the April 20th, I guess.
Oh, we had no choice but to stay home, and he still went on a rampage.
Yeah. Yeah, dressed as a cop.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people, have a lot of trust in cops, and it's easy to gain people's trust when you're wearing a uniform. Unless you're trucking bales of weed across the states. That was a callback to a previous episode, but anyways. But yeah, no, so one way or the other, it was terrible.
I think we referred to that as 600-pound weed truck guy.
Was it 600 pounds?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and there was like 40 pounds of friggin' hash oil.
Yeah. Was it hash oil or heroin?
No, it wasn't heroin. None of it was heroin. But anyhow, yeah, so we're sorry to hear all this. Everybody who was involved, we're thinking about you. Anybody who lost people.
And I
It's a
mean, even
terrible
for
thing.
us who are not directly affected, it's emotional.
Yeah. Oh, it is. I mean, it's really hard to even fathom that it's happening when, you've never. And I'm sure it's no different any other place. There's been tons of tragedies that have taken place.
Just never happens here. I mean, it
Just-
has happened. We've had, the McDonald's.
We've had that.
Sydney and-
there was the McDonald's thing that happened in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like 6 years ago in Moncton, there was a guy who went on a rampage and killed some cops. There was something in Fredericton that happened a couple years back.
I don't remember Fredericton,
St.
but
John,
I know
maybe.
it was 2014 when.
Yeah. And I mean, there's history's proven there's always going to be crazy people that will do crazy shit, but
Yeah.
it sucks. So yeah. And we don't want to make this too somber, but we did want to make sure we we put a little shout out there to all the people and just said, we're really sorry for all your losses.
Yeah, and not to undermine the mood of this week. I mean, next week will be different. We'll be back to normal, but this week we kind of didn't want to prepare some goofy-ass thing.
No, and I mean, I have a couple other things I want to talk about, but not. We're not going to have a real long pod this week. Actually, one of the things I wanted to mention, just a little shout out to a band from our town. Hal Nova has released. I guess it's I don't know if it's really a full length record, but it's like probably 6 or 7 tracks, I think. Last I checked, it was available on Bandcamp, and I checked it out, and good job, boys, is what I got to say. Sounds great. Anybody who wants to, check it out. It's on Bandcamp. I saw somebody posted that it was going to soon be available on all streaming services.
Okay.
So, yeah, Hal Nova from, obviously, Halifax, Nova Scotia, and someday we'll have to get some of them guys on here.
Yeah.
If I ever lift this
Well, we've
fucking
been
travel
toying with
thing.
the idea of doing maybe some distance.
Yeah, we might
interviews.
do some fucking Facebook chat thing or something. I don't know. We'll see. In the next few weeks, we'll
If our
figure that
network
out.
connection ever improves.
Yeah, it's hard because everybody's on the internet right now, so it's kind of rough trying to get a good connection. And I've been listening to a few pods that have been doing it, and they all seem to be having that same sort of issue.
Well, even I watch bits and pieces of the Jimmy Fallon Tonight Show at Home edition all the time.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's glitches in that too, because
The best thing from what I've learned is if you're going to do distance pods, is have each person record their own audio on their own recorder, and then send the audio to the producer, who is me,
yeah.
and they just put the audio together, and that way it's like crystal clear. There's none of this through the internet type thing.
Unless we decide to make it a video.
Yeah. Well, even if you did, you can overlay the video without audio and then have the audio from the recorders. So like say the other person had a Zoom like what we have, they could just record their audio,
Not a sponsor.
upload the file. I'd like it if they were.
That would be awesome.
Hey Zoom, you want to send us F8N? Get on it. I'd love to have one. I think it's the F8N. Is that the one?
I don't know.
It's the one I really like.
You're the
Yeah, it is.
audio nerd.
I really, I wasn't, but I am now. And we're back. Fucking batteries died. Anyways, yeah, so the F8N. Zoom, send us one. We'll talk about your products.
So since we're just doing a random pod and we were just speaking of Tim being an audio nerd, and there's lots of random nerds in the metalhead world,
Oh, lots.
I'm gonna shout out to the new game that I found because I know there's people listening who played it on the PS2.
Oh, here we go.
People, there's a Dragon Quest phone game.
Yep. It's metal as fuck, isn't it?
Get your slimes out.
We're starting to show our age here, I think.
I think so.
I seen a guy going with a Slimes t-shirt.
Well,
And I just assumed it was like Final Fantasy or something.
No, it's Dragon Quest. You can buy slimes at Giant Robot.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, giant robot, I love your slimes.
Yeah. What are they? They plush?
Yeah,
Yeah.
big blue plush
Oh,
slimes.
speaking of plush, the other day I saw plush Iron Maiden figures online.
Dead Eddies?
No, the whole band.
Oh, wicked.
And there was another band too that I saw. I think it might have been Kiss.
Oh, there's lots of
I don't want
plush
to.
Kiss.
I'm not even gonna say not a sponsor when it comes to Kiss. I'm gonna be like not a fan. Sorry, Kiss.
Some of their stuff's good.
No.
Detroit Rock City's pretty awesome,
Nope.
too.
Sorry, not a fan. Sorry, Gene.
Speaking of, how you doing with your 10 days, 10 album covers?
Oh, that fell off.
I didn't even get to one.
I think I owe my brother an apology on that one. I think I made it to day 2. But yeah, it's so hard for me too to be like, these are the albums that influenced me, because it's such a vast, crazy
I know.
mix of stuff that it's like I could just name off 100 albums that have all influenced me a tiny little bit.
And
I mean,
if
I'm going to do this right now. Here, this is for Aaron. You want to hear my albums that have influenced me? You start counting.
Okay.
I think the first one I already named it off is 2112 by Rush.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then we probably got any Yes record from the 80s. Any Yes record. Like, I was a huge prog guy. My dad got me into that prog stuff when I was a kid. That pretty much helped me along the way to heavy metal. And then when it came to like real hard music, I'd be an idiot if I didn't say Cowboys from Hell.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Cowboys from Hell really changed a lot of what I thought about what metal was.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
I didn't get
Pantera
into extreme death metal until later on. And, you know, from there I'd have to say, geez, In Flames, probably Come Clarity. Come Clarity or Soundtrack to Your Escape, either one of those records. Probably Soundtrack would be like another one, so that's 4. Not necessarily super proud to say it, but Chimera, they're self-titled, the black
Hey,
one.
there's nothing wrong with that album.
There's nothing wrong with that album. I never really felt, it wasn't that they ever turned into a bad band. I just never thought they progressed any at all after that.
Yeah.
Some of their older stuff was just, it was unique, it was cool, it was,
Well, they're back on the scene now.
maybe a little bit. Yep. And then going from there, we got Suicide Silence. Kind of opened my eyes up a lot to deathcore, along with Carnifex.
Is that all one, or is that 2?
I'm not even naming albums anymore. I'm just naming bands because, but like, what's the Carnifex album that I'm thinking of? It's
Die Without Hope?
nope. After that,
Oh, boy. Is Die Without Hope the first one? No.
yeah, Die Without Hope's one of their older ones. Just a minute, I'll ask the producer to look something up for us here. Hey, producer. Oh, look, he's already on it.
Awkward Silence.
The Diseased and the Poisoned.
Okay.
So that album by Carnifex, that was pretty much my introduction to deathcore. And that and Aborted Strike 9.213, which is arguably the only deathcore album that Aborted has ever done, was another one that was my introduction to Aborted and also helped me kind of get into the deathcore scene a little bit. What are we at now? 8?
Yep.
So I got 2 more. Well, I'd be an idiot if I didn't throw Darkest Hour in there, the entire band. Not one album, just everything that they've done. And let's go back in time a little bit. April Wine. You know, say what you will, they're classic rock, but they definitely did a lot for what, you know, how I appreciate music now.
Yep.
And they're from Nova Scotia.
Yep.
And they're still, to this day, still rocking.
Little side note on April Wine. My parents went on a date to see them at the Bridgewater Arena.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. My parents
Sorry, the Bridgewater skating rink.
my parents went to see April Wine, and when they told me about it, I was heartbroken because they were an hour late coming out, and they played for like 45 minutes and then they left. And I was only a kid when they told me that, so I was like super disappointed. But then now that I'm a
Sounds
little,
more like a Burton Cummings show.
but now that I'm a little older, I'm like, yeah, that sounds pretty fucking typical, to be honest.
Yeah.
Of like depends on I guess the show.
Axl Rose has been 3 hours late.
Axl Rose, yeah,
Mhm.
that doesn't really surprise me.
And Scott Weiland, man.
Yeah.
Poor Scott Weiland.
Well,
He came out beyond late, play 2 songs, and pass out.
with fucking 6 needles hanging out of his arm or something,
that's
right?
a sad
he
one.
was in rough shape. A lot of those rockers from the 90s, they were not in any condition to be fucking performing when they went out.
Yeah.
Steven Tyler was in a mess a lot of the time
Yeah.
when he was on stage too.
So what, are we going to do mine now? Because this is going to
Let's
get
do
weird.
yours. Yours
All right,
is
you
going to
gonna
get
count
real
for
weird,
me?
and there better not be any fucking like electronica shit in here.
Sorry, flip my mic off there for a sec. Stupid button.
Is it back on?
It's back on.
You're back.
All right, give me the fingers.
Okay.
So I guess we'd have to start at the beginning with pretty much anything by Elvis, because that's where my origins come from.
Okay.
And then we'd move on to pretty much all of CCR's discography.
I left CCR out, but when I was a kid, I definitely liked them a lot.
I have to group kind of CCR and April Wine in together.
Yep.
Then we're going to move on to probably, you're going to hate me for saying this,
I probably will, but
the Michael Jackson Thriller album.
well, now let's see. I got some respect for MJ. He's a pop star, but he did some cool shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When I was a kid, I liked. Like when I say when I was a kid, when I was 5, I liked Michael Jackson.
Yep.
So now we're at 3.
No, that was, yeah, so we're on to 4.
Okay.
I'm going to say Sublime.
Fucking love Sublime.
Yeah. They're,
We're getting away from metal, people, but you got to understand
Well, these are the origin
this is the
stories, though.
roadmap. This is the roadmap to what we listen to now. Not necessarily all of it has to be metal.
yeah. And I have to put this one in there. Korn.
Hey, Korn's metal. It's new metal. I left Korn out, but yeah, I remember there was a short period of time where I was like doing the Korn, like the new metal, the Limp Bizkit. There was a lot of System of a Down.
Everybody was.
System of a Down used to be a really fucking heavy metal band.
Yeah.
At one point in time, like back in the Chop Suey days. It was goofy, but it was still definitely metal. There was no question about it.
Yeah.
And I mean, same with Korn. The Limp Bizkit, that was a fad more than anything.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
they couldn't. There's no way that I don't think Limp Bizkit could come back now and be getting any kind of respect
Except
like they
Fred
did.
Durst is making guest appearances.
Is he?
Yes.
With other bands?
Yeah.
What? Stained?
No. I'm pretty sure he made a guest appearance recently with Korn, because him and Jonathan Davis.
Oh yeah, they're buds.
Yeah, that's how Limp Bizkit kind of got their start.
Yeah, they've been friends for a while.
I was a huge Wes Borland fan, so the guitar player, because he's freaking awesome.
Yeah, Wes Borland's a good dude. I mean, like I said, Limp Bizkit had some cool guitar riffs. They had some cool metal aspects to their stuff. I never really thought they were as cool as Korn.
No.
They kind of never were above them.
No, they
at
were
all.
goofy. Korn was more of a serious thing, and Limp Bizkit was more of a goofy thing.
Yeah.
So what are we on, 6?
We're on 5. You're on next one 6.
All right, so we just ended with Korn, so next we'd probably have to move on to, excuse me, Killswitch.
Okay, yeah. There's
And
some metalcore.
I don't think I can really name a specific Killswitch album because there's not much I don't like, and I friggin' love their new album. I really
Yeah.
do.
No, they fucking got it going on. You know, they're one of the few bands I can say that like swapped singers out a few times, but they never really had a bad one.
No. And what was the first song they released? It was the one it was Howard Jones and Jesse Lynch, because Jesse Lynch is back now.
Yeah.
And
And
the two of
Howard's
them
still
together
cool with the
blew
whole
my mind.
band, so
He what?
Howard's still cool with the whole band.
Oh yeah,
Like
him
they're
and
all
Jesse
still friends
are
and-
friends, yeah.
So I don't know why Jesse Leach was ever not in the band.
Just cited as mental health reasons.
Oh, okay, so he just needed a break.
Yeah.
Had to take care of himself.
For like
that's fair.
15, 20 years. I don't know. It seemed like forever.
Yeah. Well, he had a good guy replacing him.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
All right.
what's next? You're on 6. Or you're on 7.
I'm on 7, so I think moving on, I think we'd have to throw in Parkway Drive.
Hell yeah. Old Parkway Drive is
Yeah.
just amazing.
Big time old Parkway Drive.
Their new stuff, I don't hate it, but I don't think it's the
It's
same.
not like the old stuff.
No. I've been listening to a little bit of their recent live recordings of
Oh,
their
that they
old
just
music.
released?
Of their old music, though.
Yeah.
And it's like there's such a huge difference between their old shit, speed-wise. I noticed a lot of difference in speed. But hey, you get old, I guess. Even when you're a fucking surfer, you get old and you can't.
They all look like surfers. They don't look metal at all.
Shit anymore.
Man, I'm gonna have a hard time filling these 3 spots
You got
because I
number
have
8
too many.
coming up. 8. Let's go.
I have too many. I guess I'd have to put Die Without Hope in there. Current Effects.
Okay, so good. I'm glad we got a mutual agreement on that one.
Yeah.
Because we had different albums, but both of us can agree on one thing: is Current Effects is probably
amazing.
one of the most brutal fucking bands out there.
Yeah.
And if anyone's like, yeah, they're kid deathcore, well, you know what? You can stuff it because they're fucking amazing.
Yeah.
They still are to this day. Their style has changed immensely over the years.
Yeah.
Like it really has. It went from a raw basement sound,
Which I loved.
I did love it too, but to now they have this like such amazingly produced, symphonic, deep, dark sound that they have going on. It's fucking incredible.
Yep. All right, so I'm going to throw in As Blood Runs Black because
Fuck yeah.
that album just sat in my car for a long time, and
Fuck yeah.
I listened to that a lot.
Yeah.
How do I fill this last spot?
I don't know. I mean, I can think of all kinds of shit that you introduced me to.
Help me out here.
There's one from Germany for sure.
Oh, Heaven Shall Burn.
Heaven Shall Burn. They're arguably the first deathcore band ever.
I'm putting Trivium there.
Okay, put Trivium in there.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So that's her 10. And you know what? I could give you fucking 40 more.
Oh, so could I.
I really could. Like I said,
like I
Suicide
missed Alice
Silence.
Cooper. I missed
Yeah.
a lot of stuff.
But like even when it comes to metal with me, like I could put Suicide Silence in there. I could put in
I missed Misery Signals, and I kind of regret not putting them
I
in
could
there.
put Misery Signals in there. Controller was fucking one of the best albums ever
yeah.
made, I think.
It just gives me chills still every time I hear certain songs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then there's just so much. Like I said, to try to come up with just 10. I mean, I understand it's just a fun thing, keep people occupied in this shitty time.
But it almost stresses you out trying to name your bands because you don't want to leave your favorites out.
Well, there was like even the second day I posted, which I'm gonna actually make sure I tag Aaron on this because so that he can listen to it. But which, by the way, I don't know if you noticed, but he posted our last episode.
Did he?
Like from whatever he was listening to it on.
Really?
Yeah. He didn't repost it from ours. He posted it from something else.
Thanks, Aaron.
Yeah, so my bro's got us. He's got our back. Anyway, so there's your list, bud. Sorry I didn't get it all in album covers. There's lots more. And he's probably going to come back and be like, what the fuck? How come you didn't name off this and this and this and this? But, I mean, like I said, there's 1,000 things that have influenced me over the years.
Yeah.
And
Well,
the Moody Blues is one of them.
Oh, really?
Hell fucking yeah. And I'll tell you right now, I am not an advocate of religion. I have no opinion on it. I'm not going to make any comments on it because I don't want to start a big fucking Twitter war here. But Three Dog Night is a very, very heavily Christian religious
Yeah, but
band.
everybody loves Three Dog Night.
Fucking,
Come on.
when I was a kid, I loved that shit so much.
And the Doobie Brothers.
Oh, well, the Doobies are a super band. Not a super group in the sense that they are all celebrities, but they are a super band. Like, there's more talent in that band than what exists in all the rest of the fucking music world.
True story.
There really is. Like Sklar, Leland Sklar, which I'm not sure if he still plays the bass for them. I I don't even know if he's still alive, to be perfectly honest. That guy is he's a genius on the bass. Just unbelievable.
Yeah, they were a great band.
Yeah. I mean, you know, since we're just sitting here naming off random shit that's not metal, you know who influenced me a lot is a lot of like I don't know what you call it, like it's almost hybrid jazz, like Don Henley did a bunch of collabs with different people, and him and Bruce Hornsby did a song called New York Minute, and
He's
I remember
an amazing
being
pianist.
I remember being a kid and just completely falling in love with how that song was written. It is so sad to hear what it's about, because it's about Wall Street bullshit.
Yeah.
And the bassist that was on that was Pino Palladino. That guy is unfucking stoppable. And if you ever, anybody, I don't care if you're a metalhead or not, look up Pino Palladino and listen to some of his shit. He's still going today. He's in a group now that's actually doing some fairly popular shit that's going out.
Really?
And, oh yeah, unbelievable.
It's funny you mentioned Bruce Hornsby because is it Mandolin Rain?
I don't know most of his...
It is. That's
most of the
Mandolin
names
Rain.
of any of his
So
stuff.
me being a pianist.
My dad was huge into him, right?
Me being a pianist, I have some love for Bruce Hornsby because he was a great pianist.
Yeah.
And that song in particular just gives me the feels about my childhood.
Yeah, I mean Larry Gowan influenced me a lot when I was a young kid. Obviously pre-Styx days. I have no
love for Larry Gowan at all. I can't stand
I
his
have
voice.
no love for Styx. But anyways, we'll have to meet in the middle on that one. I think. But anyways, yeah. So like I said, it's not all metal, but
The Long Arm of the Law is a good song.
maybe. But like, long story short, all that stuff, be it what it is, it all built me up to being an exclusive extreme metalhead that I am now.
Yeah.
Which is strange to say, but like, you literally will not find me listening to anything that's not extreme metal anymore.
I still listen to a huge range of stuff. I mean, I'm just going to throw this out there and you can hate on me for it or not, but
I already do.
I friggin' love Chicago.
See, I don't even know a Chicago song.
Oh, yeah,
I
I'm
couldn't
sure
even
you
tell
do.
you. Well, I've heard one, but I couldn't name a Chicago song.
I love Chicago. When I was in university, I had the Chicago Greatest Hits.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think I drove my friend Amy. She was living with me in the apartment at the time. And I think I drove her nuts with Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah, there was so much stuff that, like, just as, like, my dad introduced me to as a kid, that, like, it's not the type of style that I would listen to now, but I can't ignore it.
Yep. That's like me with big band. You know I love big band stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you came home from work.
Is that why you like Beady Bam so much?
Who?
Between the Buried and Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those guys are just insane. But they have kind of got that...
Yeah, especially that one song, just...
I can't think of what it's called right now, but yeah.
The trumpets and
it's off Automata. One of the Automatas.
The trumpets and the jazzy grooves
yeah,
they got going on.
which
I mean,
is
it's awesome.
It's typical of their style too. I mean, they're a prog metal, but yeah, there might be something to that.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was so much stuff that if I was like, this is what I used to listen to as a kid, people would look at me and be like, "What the fuck, dude?" Like Tears for Fears, Duran Duran.
Yep.
Oh my God, like. Fucking the list just goes on and on and on.
My cousin gave me, so she kind of grew out of
Blood,
her.
Sweat, and Tears.
Yeah.
You know who they are?
I do.
Yeah, they're from like the 60s, 70s.
Give me a song, though.
Oh, fuck, don't
Super
know.
popular song.
Don't know. I can get the producer to look one up. God, this producer is just on it today.
Come on, Tim. Everybody knows you're the producer.
Well, I guess. Maybe.
But anyway, my cousin gave me her Much Music taped off a TV VHS when she was done with it.
Okay.
And it had Sowing the Seeds of Love and Shout on it, the music videos for those two songs.
Which have been covered by one amazing band.
Who?
Disturbed.
Oh, Disturbed's covered. Why didn't we put Disturbed on there, on our list?
Well, I think, like I said, It was because there's only 10. If Aaron had been like, name 300 bands that have influenced you over the fucking years, then I just would have been able to put them all. But that's the thing, right?
I think there's a lot of people that can't stand Disturbed, but
see, Disturbed's another band that's changed over the years a lot.
I have so much respect for
God.
them because
Jen?
What?
That's members.
Holy bananas!
Okay, nobody. Can you all see this? Can you see this clearly?
There's at least 50 people.
50? Jesus, there's 50 in one column. I don't know how many people were in this band.
Anyway, give me a song.
So, a song... There's no, like...
Of course there is.
Okay, so... In 1970... I'm trying to find an album that I would know. No Sweat. Django... Back Up Against the Wall... Empty Pages. Trying to see if... See, I bet you I know a lot of these songs to hear them, but I just never knew what the titles were. Like... So it looks like 1980 they were pretty much done.
Well, we would... Growing up with Q104, it would have been the...
95 they put out a live album.
Okay, which should have...
Should have most of their big stuff on it. See, a lot of these are covers by the looks of it.
Anyway, while the producer's dealing with that and trying to find a song I'd know, just back on the Disturbed thing.
Mm-hmm.
I friggin' love what they do.
Yeah.
Land of Confusion was one of the best covered songs.
It was. It totally tops the original, like, 100-fold.
Yeah. And the Sound of Silence.
They did a pretty good job of that, too.
Oh, man, that is just...
If you're, like, crying your face off listening to a metal band.
Come on now.
It's pretty sad sounding. But
it
no,
is
they
sad,
did a great
but
job.
It's beautiful. It's funny because you would run into our local music equipment store there not that long ago, and me and the kids stayed in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And that song came on. And I remember Nora, nobody's going to understand this. It's kind of our inside joke. But Nora going, Mommy, this is such a pretty song. I want it on my list. Put it on my list.
What song was it?
Sound of Silence.
Oh, and it was the
Disturbed's
Disturbed
cover.
version
Yeah.
of it? That's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, our little one there, I guess our middle one.
We're not calling her a middle child.
Yeah. Anyway, she really loves the metal.
She really loves music.
She loves music, but she's, I think, more into metal than my oldest.
Depends on whose car she's in. In my car, it's Fear Factory's cover of Cars and Ghostbusters original and Stevie T gent version and Huey Lewis in the News.
Yeah. Anyway, to be honest, like, I'm looking at this Blood, Sweat, and Tears list, and I'm just wasting time here because I can't really see
Screw it.
actual songs. But, like, anyways, like I said, I remember DJing parties for my parents and all their friends when I was a kid, and that was one of the ones that came up. Was them all the time, the Moody Blues, and Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog by fucking
That was Three Dog
Night and other stuff.
Jesus
too.
Is Just All Right by the Doobies.
Yeah, and Wheel in the Sky.
That's a good tune.
Yeah, I mean, like, and that's all very uber religious based stuff. But I mean, you look at where they came from too.
Yeah.
They came from the Bible Belt.
Yep.
That's the only thing that most people down there were singing about. So
I think it was Peter, Paul, and Mary did One Toke Over the Line.
Yeah, it might have been. I don't think my parents were into that shit.
One
so
Toke
much.
Over the Line's a great song, but it's only a great song to me because Fear and Loathing made it a great song.
But anyway, yeah, so that's what kind of led us into the fucking metalheads that we are now. I'm more of an exclusive metalhead than you are, but you do listen to a lot of hard shit.
Yeah, I'm not an exclusive metalhead. I will always...
She likes everything.
Yeah, I will always kind of float back to... I have periods of time where
Well,
I listen
you're a
to-
woman, so obviously we know that
God.
shit. But anyways.
I listen to this, that, and the other thing. Like, summer is always a hair metal time.
Oh, really?
Because hair metal
Yeah, I guess.
sounds best when you can roll your windows
Do you
down.
take the roof down on your car when you do that?
I got the T-top, right? So I take out the two panels of glass.
Yeah. No,
I got
she
the big
doesn't.
eagle on my...
She doesn't. He's got the fucking fuzzy dice. Yeah, no. Anyway, T-top, that's what I'm going to do to my car tomorrow.
Gonna do a Bam Margera style and just take a big saw to it?
Sure, why not?
It's about all it's worth.
But anyway, that just about wraps up our episode for this week.
Sorry, guys, for the random content and the sad opening, but
No, I think it was all right.
we just
Wasn't
really
bad.
needed to kind of acknowledge what's happened here.
Yeah.
It's rocked everybody.
It has. But, so, yeah. Everybody keep her together. Put your fucking face masks on, I guess. I haven't worn one yet.
I've been saying this every week. Wash your hands. Wash your hands.
Wash your fucking hands.
Wash your hands. Don't touch your face.
No. And, you know, be nice to your neighbors, I guess. If your neighbors aren't fucking cunts. If
Do you
they
have
are,
to use that word?
If they are, don't be nice to them.
There wouldn't be an episode without me being like, Tim,
I almost
what the hell?
got away with the entire episode without saying cunt, but oh, there it is.
Ugh.
Anyways.
Anyway.
So, yeah, everybody, have a good week. We will talk to you all next week. Stay fucking metal. And getting hard out.